everybody, welcome to the Attract Capital webinars. I'm Janine. I'm here with David, the CEO of Attract Capital.
Hi everybody.
Today we're going to be talking about the art of mastering the due diligence process. So David, can you go into what due diligence is?
Absolutely, Janine. It's a very important subject. Due diligence is the verification process that a bank or a lender subjects a borrower to approve them for a loan. There's generally three steps. There's an understanding the business stage, then there's a financial analysis stage, and then there's a legal stage. And all of these stages have multiple work streams in them, and they all require different information. So it can get pretty complex pretty quickly. And then lenders, depending upon the type of lender they are, if they're an asset-based lender or if they're a cash flow lender, they all have different types of due diligence processes because they all want to know something different. Whether it's the cash flow, whether it's the market position, or whether it's the asset liquidation value, they're all going to drive their diligence process based upon what they want to know. So it's a big kind of omnibus word, and it means different things to different people, but it's basically learning as much about the company in order to make an approval decision for the loan.
So they want all the nitty-gritty, the details to understand why they should be.
Perfectly said, Janine. It's the nitty-gritty. They're in your underwear drawer. It's
groundwork.
It's like almost a privacy invading process where they want to know everything. And it's hard for the lender because they're trying to create this information database, this profile about the company based on these information data points. Most lenders are very good at it, but it still is a tedious process, and many companies that go through it think of it as quite an exhaustive process.
I can see how that could be exhausting, but it sounds really important as well. So why is it important?
Well, it makes or break your deal. If you don't get through due diligence, the lender's not going to approve it, and also there's a lot of assessing of softer information that the lender is going through as they're learning about the company. They're learning about how well organized the company is, what type of reports and information that they get on a routine basis. So it's a window into the soul of the company for the lender. And it allows them to get under the hood and look at how everything is working to see if it's a properly functioning company. But on the other hand, due diligence processes are very complex and very time consuming. And if they're not managed properly, and this is the most important reason why it's critical, if they're not managed properly, it could really slow down your deal. It could slow it down to a crawl. In some instances, if it's not managed properly, it could just kill the deal. So due diligence and really getting out in front of it, learning how to do it, learning how to master it, taking it on, as opposed to just saying, oh, we'll get through due diligence, no problem. It's just a financial thing. It's not just a financial review. It is a business review, it's a financial review, and it's a legal review. And it's the most important process you're going to go through with the lender, so you have to respect it.
And it's probably a really good opportunity for whoever's seeking the lender to better understand what they're trying to put out there as well.
Absolutely, because when you're trying to put all this information together, you learn things about yourself. So as much as it's perceived as an arduous process, when you pull this information together and you look at it the way the lender's looking at it, you learn some things and you have some aha moments about, oh, I didn't know that about our business, so I didn't know we were spending all that money on that. So it is helpful in other ways.
That's great. So it sounds like you know a lot about the due diligence process. So what would you say that Attract Capital's 5 musts to completing the process is?
Well, there's probably 20 musts.
Yeah.
But we're gonna distill it down to the 5.
We'll do 5.
5 musts. Okay. I may sneak in a 6. So what I see a lot is a lot of people don't take the time to understand the lender's unique diligence path before they choose the lender. So you'd never want to say, oh, I want to work with that lender because they seem like nice people and they're going to give me a nice interest rate and a nice loan. The due diligence is integral to you being able to deciding that you want to work with that lender. If they have just an atrocious due diligence process that will not really sync up with your information, and it may not be worth it. Absolutely right. So you don't want to take on something, if the diligence intensity is super intense and you can't handle a super intense diligence process, then find another lender and ask them up front, what is your due diligence process like? What is your due diligence process like? What is your due diligence process like? So you kind of have to know yourself, know what you can handle, know where you're strong, know where you're weak, and then match that up with the appropriate due diligence process. And if it means picking a lender who does things differently, so be it.
Might be it. It's a good tip.
That's the first one. Understand the due diligence approach. Number two is you want to point out how your company is different in terms of the information, in terms of its business position. And you want to make that very easy for the lender to understand. And one of the things we've popularized with our clients is called a due diligence navigational guide. You want to put 2 or 3 pages together and tell them everything about your financial statements that wouldn't be obvious to them so that they can accelerate their learning. So preparing that due diligence navigational guide is also very critically important. Number 3 is you want to organize and plan the due diligence process. You really need to attack it. You need to put in good human resources behind it. You want to get the right people to lead it, and you want to give those people the empowerment to be able to make decisions. Number 4 is you need to quality control the information flow. The information flow is the lifeblood of disclosure when you're engaging with the lender. And that information flow needs to be in the right hands, and someone needs to make sure that it's clean and that it's filtered and that all the information that's getting to the lender is good information and isn't the wrong information. And number 5 is you want to have frequent communication with the lender. Part of this process is the lender asks for 50 things, you send them the 50 things, and they have indigestion with all the information. So you kind of want to manage it and talk to them and say, well, that's less important, this is more important. You want to help make the massive information that they've received more manageable and digestible for them. So you want to understand their due diligence approach is number 1. You want to invest in a due diligence navigational guide as number 2. You want to run an organized and well-planned process as number 3. You want to QC the information flow, and number 5 is communicate frequently and help them along.
Wow, you know a lot about that. I feel like I always say that when we do this webinar.
So we've learned this the hard way, Janine. We've learned this through being involved in about 150 deals where things have gone well, and some instances things haven't gone so well. And unfortunately, it's the due diligence, the tone and the integrity of the due diligence process that really makes or break these deals. So respect your due diligence process and you'll get your deal closed.
Well, thank you very much for sharing all of that. And if any of our viewers have questions, as always, reach out to David or Track Capital directly, and they'll be happy to help you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.